Hello, folks. Been some interest in the football league going over somebody by the name of fucking Gardner Minshew that's been performing like he's all the that he's been the starter of the Jacksonville Jaguars all along. And I talked well about him. No, I don't think I've done a review on the Jacksonville Jaguars because Ramsey and most of their and Calais Campbell are hurt. And we had AJ Boye getting mossed by DJ Moore. A lot of slip screens, a lot of desperation plays off the run, and poor defense. But Yankin, Njoku, Trey, Hardman, Josh Allen, there was some good defense on the floor. DJ Hayden got some good pass deflections targeted over for Christian McCaffrey that carried the game. Christian McCaffrey performed incredibly well. Passing and receiving, rushing and receiving yards only with going 6 of 9 of his targets and getting 61 yards with a carrying touchdown from the outside of a zag route. There's a cool ass way he ricocheted off from the opening drive, like I think it was the third or second drive for the Carolina Panthers. He flipped like a gefilte fish to the end zone for a touchdown, and he crossed over so many men with spin moves, quick jolts around with good jukes. Fuck me, man. When's the last time I've seen like Jonathan Stewart play that way? And fucking Christian McCaffrey is everything I wanted in a halfback. One of the only positive next to Kyle Allen. Both quarterbacks weren't that impressive. Even though Kyle Allen was a bit more consistent in certain aspects, he was above average in his passing rating, only going 17 of 30, while Gardner Minshew was going like 26 of 44. So we know who was the more superior quarterback passing up the mid, even though DJ Clark was catching footballs like nobody cared, down post routes and crap like that. He even got 2 of the touchdowns while the rest of the team was relying on field goals, except that one deflected one. Day Westbrook was also used as well off the carry things. Leonard Fournette was just there for passing plays in like third quarter. Nobody can catch the football. Dropped passes. Everybody was going dark like nobody can catch a football. Boop. Goes DJ Moore. Then Curtis Samuel dropped like two passes that were targeted for him while he was wide open. So did Julius Wright that didn't have a good game. And Julius Wright did well like a couple seasons ago. Where was Julius Wright today? Last night. Went 1 of 3. Greg Olsen didn't appear. He didn't even get a catch. He got targeted twice up the mid. It was like the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary was shutting down when they were obviously not even guarding most of their best players, and obviously the Panthers were trying to utilize a bit much of Christian McCaffrey. To the most positive thing, it was the best part of the game. Christian McCaffrey jolting and juking everywhere. Reggie Bonifant got a huge long run for a carrying touchdown for a long it was a long 32 yards, and he only had like a few good pass plays. They used Curtis Samuels in a few fakes, and while Kyle Allen got I don't think he got a first down off him carrying the football when the pocket was coming to him, while Gardner was fucking trying to escape. He was like one of the leading rushers. Gardner Minshew jolted out when he couldn't get through the D line. I mean, when he couldn't pass for the D line, and he was utilized a lot, like chucking the football, trying to get through a lot of defenders out of a lot of pass deflections. One coming from Luke Kuechly to end off the game. Kyle Love came and stopped a few reads. So did Eric Reed with 2 pass deflections. And James Bradbury, that performed well. They were shutting down the defense, breaking through a couple plays. Ross Cockrell, Eric Reed, James Berry, Luke Kuechly was there in a few plays, even though I think he was super inconsistent and can barely get through from Curtis Samuel sometimes off a few deep ass catches, and almost one big play from Christian McCaffrey that could have got a huge first down off a one-handed play. Gerald McCoy couldn't catch shit. I think he had like 4 assisted tackles where he could just try to stop Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Day Westbrook or or sometimes Leonard Fournette. That did well. Leonard Fournette did well, even though I thought he was underwhelming. 108 yards off one touchdown play like late into the game. Gerald Minshew did well with fucking DJ Clark. He performed well. 8 catches out of 11. The dude was hitting lights out from out route plays and keep hitting it from deep. And Most Cockrell and some of their best secondary deep into the field. Chris Conley got like one catch. Everybody kept dropping footballs from around the back. James O'Shaughnessy was all right to see to just grab some third downs or release some second and short plays, and Day Westbrook was just there to be a combo on the rushing and receiving side of the football. While of course the Jags defense, injury riddled, inconsistent, or either they didn't care. DJ Hayden barely was efficient. So was DJ Alexander. He got mossed in one of the plays and barely even got a pass deflection. While we had AJ Boye, Ronnie Harrison, Miles Jack, and Yankin Njoku that had a huge forced fumble on a fucking Kyle Allen. And so did Miles Jack, coming out embarrassing Kyle Allen so they can stop him on some games when they had a double-digit lead. And then it came with Gardner Minshew getting a forced fumble multiple times. One in the second quarter. He got sacked numerous of times off Brian Barnes and Mario Anderson. I thought he got a forced fumble, but that was coming from Shaq Thomas. Down like in the fourth quarter when there was like a few minutes remaining. It was a fun game, and I really thought the Jaguars could get this one so they can I think they're third. We're about to check out their standings right now, because this boosts up the Carolina Panthers at least second in the division, or one depending on how. Second in the division. They're better than the Falcons and the Buccaneers right now, and the Jacksonville Jaguars at least third. Because I feel like these teams have promise middle of the season. We're only quarter half of the season here. We're still below halfway through the season. We're getting some good football, and it's good to see how well done some of these teams are. And don't worry, my 49ers will remain undefeated because of the overrated Cleveland Browns. And that's my fanboy talking, because I'm trying to excite this game for Monday Night Football. School night. I'm joking. It's not much of a negative here. But both teams played tremendously well. I think it was all defense. I felt like Christian McCaffrey was the MVP of the game. Carrying-wise, consistency-wise, Christian McCaffrey was just there. There was no part of him that felt like he wasn't trying to gain yards, and he had a tremendous 10 to 12-yard stretches to keep the ball away from the Jaguars in nearly the final drives of the game, when we thought that the Jaguars were going to get it back in a few terrible plays off Kyle Allen that couldn't throw a curl route correctly sometimes. But he did well. Kyle Allen can throw the ball like he's been an experienced quarterback for, even though he's a sophomore that is a late round pick. That's an undrafted rookie. But Christian McCaffrey is playing lights out this season. He shows why he's one of the best offensive players on the team. And watching him play just shows how tremendously talented he is. Off over 100 carries, 587 yards, and playing a lights-out game, carrying and receiving-wise, even though he's already halfway through his career, his sophomore season. He's nearly above his sophomore season in carrying yards. And he's barely even 10 games in. That's how scary Christian McCaffrey is this season. 587 yards. In his sophomore season, he went 1,098. And he's already doing half that. You know how crazy that is. And he's already beating because he's the only guy on offense for the Panthers, other than Curtis Samuels, and sometimes DJ Moore when he wants to stay consistent. The Panthers won this game, but if it's going to come to tougher competition, oh, God, something got to change for the Panthers. I thought this wasn't their best showing game. Because the Jaguars are now third after the Colts just upsetted the freaking just jumped off third from second after the Colts just fucking upsetted the Chiefs and somehow became second in the division against the Texans. And the Carolina Panthers on the NFC South are second best, above 500, to the 4-1 Saints that are still remaining undefeated. 2-0. 2-1 after losing Bridgewater. Didn't they upset the Seahawks? Buccaneers and the fucking Falcons are continuing to sadden me. Luckily, Panthers can have them. They get a division opponent. While the Jags get the Saints that are 4-1 this season. This has been DST. Oh my god. This season continues to be interesting. Even how many injuries are coming out for some of the teams that are losing most of their most impactful players, it's still good football to see. And it's so good to see so many players actually show off what they got. So, hope you guys are watching Monday night.